This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone. My name's Dawn Beckner. I am a senior channel manager, and this is my YouTube channel for our team, industry leading top producers. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, the presentation is on understanding the power of a good book of business. Okay. Again, understanding the power of a good book of business, often referred to as the money book. All right, let's get started here. We need a built-in audience, okay? A built-in audience. Well, let's dig into this a little bit. Think of it in terms of a good book. A lot of people really enjoy a good book. Everyone loves a good book. And if you think of everyone, the human beings that we are, we like to consume data. People are data processors. We like to read things, watch things, right? Listen to things. And this is why we like to read a good book. Once we start reading a good book, we want more of it. It's satisfying our need and our need for suspense, that curiosity in us. And in fact, people enjoy data of any kind, though, right? People like reading cookbooks, and people like listening to podcasts. People like going to see a play. That is data of any kind. This is why, over time, over all of these years, newspapers, radio, TV, magazines, blogs, social media, it has all been very successful, a huge success with humankind over time, right? Even from hieroglyphics and on, right? Human beings, we like to read and figure out what is going on, listen to what's being said, watch what's being done. People like to consume information, especially information that gives them the answers to subjects that concern them, right? If you want to find out something, you go to Google or YouTube because you're looking for the answers. If you like to do makeup, you're looking for videos that talk about makeup because that's what concerns you, or how to fix car engines, or how to cook. This is the information that would concern that person. So that's what we do. People like to consume information, especially the information that gives them the answers to the subjects that concern them. So that's when a built-in audience comes in, okay? In our world, for our sales organization here, Industry Leading Top Producers, for us, a built-in audience is a group of business owners who we will target and provide valuable information about topics that are relevant to their needs. Okay? We will use value offered prospecting to edutain our prospects, right? We want to educate and entertain them at the same time because people are data processors. They like to get information, and they get excited about information that concerns them. So if you send them a blurb about something regarding what they do in their industry, maybe a cool news story, interesting documentary, right? A publication, something, we'll get to it. But you see what I'm saying? We want to edutain them. Our own particular little built-in business, a built-in audience, I'm sorry. Let's discuss commonality. There are common problems that companies experience, right? Some of them are isolated issues, but for the most part, they're all very general, common problems that if they were not so many general common problems, the businesses who provide services to fix those common problems wouldn't exist. All right. So there are common problems that companies experience. Now, we as agents, we can learn about the types of problems and their solutions by reading through case studies. Okay. If you had an opportunity to see the training video prior to this one, I shared my screen to illustrate where to find some case studies. So all of you may not have seen that video. So you can just message me and I'll show you how to find those case studies in your agent portal. Now, these case studies are valuable tools because it will give you the knowledge needed to present solutions to common business needs, right? If you know, for example, should we go with an example or should I stay on track? I think I'm going to stay on track. I can go off track, stay on track. But, you know, if it's a common problem that you know about, you can bring that up in a conversation to be able to speak intelligently enough to the subject at hand. Okay? These case studies are valuable too because it gives us that knowledge, and knowledge is what we need. People love answers. There is a distinct feeling, okay, from uttering the right answer versus uttering the wrong answer. If you get the right answer, you feel good, you feel accomplished, you feel like you won. You say the wrong answer, you feel a little bit defeated in that moment, like, dang it, how did I not know this? People just do not like to be wrong, okay? They just don't like to be wrong. And nor, okay, because of this idea right here that people don't like to be wrong, nor do they like to feel like they've been left behind while other businesses are advancing, especially if they're in the same industry, right? You can't get left behind. So let's stick on that for a second. When I say left behind, meaning if there's a technology in place in today's time that can help a business go from making $400 to $800, right? Because of productivity, right? And some kind of shift in the way that they produce. And then this company right here doesn't have that technology, so they're only still making the 400. And this, you see, so no one wants to be left behind when it comes to being able to be the best that they can be. So they adopt those technologies, okay? So we were talking about that good book, right? We're saying how people like to read a good book and how we're data processors. Well, I'll tell you why I used all that tie-in, all that imagery here. We're talking about a book of business, right? Well, the book of business, we have a hand-picked, built-in audience. It's hand-picked because we add businesses to our book of business that will give us the best result when they convert into a customer. This is what I mean. We market to strong businesses that have a better chance at offering stronger buying power. All right? We want businesses who can buy and are ready to buy, or they have no choice but to buy because the time is now and they need to take action. Okay? So that's what this book of business is all about. So we have the leads that go into the book of business, and we're swimming through and cleaning up those leads so we can get to some prospects, people who want to have an engaging conversation and allow us to create discovery around what they may need. And then based on those needs and what can be presented to them, if they would like to become a customer, and then now they're a paying customer, right? All right. How to work a book of business, because if we're going to get the customers, we got to know how to work a book of business, and this is really important. We start off our book of business with about 500 leads and a book of business. We create a dial schedule. Now, that 500 leads, we don't know anything other than the fact it's a name, a phone number, business contact, whatever it is, okay? You get what you get, because I try to do it a different way, and no. So I'm going to give you guys access. I'm going to give you 500 leads, but here's the thing. You got to clean them up. And you also can go get your own leads, right? So, but this is just going to give you an advantage because you're part of industry leading top producers. So anyway, we got to create a dial schedule. Now, if you want to touch a book of business that holds about 500 leads, you need to schedule. Okay? You need a schedule. It's really important. Schedule. If I can say it any more clearly, I would. All right, I would. But you need a schedule. No playing around. Okay. And Monday through Friday, you need to be making 25 calls a day in order to be successful at cleaning and nailing and scaling down these 500 leads so you can get down to business, right? It's a bunch of junk at first. You got to swim through it all. Monday through Friday, you go through it, 25 calls a day. 25 calls a day will allow you to touch 500 leads over the course of 20 business days. And by doing this, you are basically narrowing down your book. And the goal is to find some business within those 500 leads that will close during the 20 business day sales cycle. Okay? So what does that mean before we go to the next slide? Well, if you have 500 leads, and then you can boil that down to 50 prospects. Of those 50 prospects, how many of those 50 prospects can you get to turn into customers within those 20 business days? That's how that works. So let's get back to this book. You are the author of your book of business. All right. So a book of 500 leads can cook down over time, as we just discussed. Reason being, some of them will probably be bad numbers or out of business or retired, or once the lead book trims down to a manageable number, the story can begin, right? That manageable number is about 50 prospects. More if possible, of course. What's left over becomes a part of your daily call plan. Now, it takes about 2 hours a day to work through a book of business. Okay. Talking about like getting it boiled down. And the goal is to find key characters in your book of business. Okay. So again, it cooks down to about 50 prospects. The name of the game is getting through the leads and finding that core 50, which is again 10% of that 500 bulk lead offering. You got to introduce yourself to the core 50 as a resource and a carrier consultant, someone who can help them narrow down the best fit. So that's a very critical time, making sure that you get some type of introduction over to them and make sure they know that you're a carrier consultant. They don't have to try and go, find an agent that represents every, one agent per company that they're interested in. You are that carrier consultant. We can find out the best carriers and vendors that meet the needs of a customer. So as a carrier consultant, you're someone who can help them narrow down the best fit. Okay. Now you got to set a time, either in that moment if the conversation is warm enough to do so, or in an appointed time to consult with the prospect. Okay. So once you consult with the prospect and get some information, and you're doing what we call a discovery, finding out how they run business and how many locations do they have and what kind of services are they using now, and find out what some of the problems that they are experiencing are, or what they may not like about how they run their current telecommunications system, and whatever. It's a discovery. So once you get some information for them, you're able to now send the customer a quote for service, and then from there follow through with a close. And if no decision is made by the customer, then we will insert them into our content marketing campaign. Right? Let's talk about the discovery, the consultative selling approach. Just touched on it a second ago. Remember, everyone loves a good story, and now it's your turn to find out their story. Okay, now it's your turn to find out their story.
This conference will now be recorded.
Again, everyone loves a good story, and now it's your turn to find out their story, right? You got to engage with the prospect to get the information that you need in order to put together a persuasive reason to move forward in the process, right? Based on the conversation and the discovery that you may have had with your prospect, you might be able to say, well, hey, this meets the needs of XYZ that you have expressed a concern for, right? Or this area saves you time and money, so it's a great reason to move forward, right? Because once you've already presented the solutions to a problem and there's still that song and dance, you can always remind the customer of why they even engaged in the conversation anyway. All right. And then moving forward in the process means you have enough information to bring your channel manager, which is in this case me, into the loop so we can align the prospect with a vendor that best suits their needs. Again, let's keep on because look, content is king. All right. So the best selling book, I'm going to stay with that analogy because we're talking about a book of business. All right. The best selling book. Okay. So if you have a book of business, you want it to be the best selling book, right? Of course you do. Talk about a bestseller. A good book goes a long way, and we all love a good read. And that's why some books make it as bestsellers among avid readers. And then the juicier the book, the better. Right? So the juicier the prospect, the better the book. If you're prospecting, you get a prospect that you find out has like several locations and several agents and these. Oh my God, that is so juicy. That's a juicy book. This is going to be great. And the more prospects, meaning main characters in these books, right? With interesting storylines, business needs, and scenarios, the better the book. Let's talk about opportunity. More storylines means more outcomes. Okay? More stuff they have going on means more outcomes. You got problems with the managed side, you got your answers. When you need this, we have this. More storylines means more outcomes. Now, outcomes also in this case are signed agreements for however much and for however long. Okay? So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about building this book of business. We want it to be a best-selling book. Organization and management. A well-oiled machine. The system organizing and managing the business. I missed a little comma there. I got confused. I do apologize for the typo. But we need a well-oiled machine. We have to work a book of business. We have to use the phone to scale down that book of business. We scale down that 500 to 50, right? 500 down into 50 prospects. We keep this up over the course of 10 months because we're still growing our book of business, right? We want to identify a core set of leads to send data to through our ILTP, which is Industry Leading Top Producers Marketing Strategy. And then we funnel those people up to our channel manager, which is me, right? So then, and then we do the marketing. That's when the marketing campaign begins at that moment, all right? So you guys have to keep in mind that this is all about the pursuit of a new business relationship. Again, this book of business is like a romance novel at this point because it's about pursuing that new business relationship. It takes at least 6 times before someone finally registers that you even exist. And that's a key component to understand. Because once you understand this, why would we assume that making one call in 30 days will help to convert that lead? If you make one call every 30 days, that's even a longer span and distance where you won't be able to build a relationship. And just picking up the phone and calling that person and trying to talk to them every 30 days, that's not going to work either because time doesn't work like that. Where you may be behind the phone, he may be behind the register or behind his computer, right? Or in his truck. We don't know. So it's important that you reach out to that person within those 30 days and a more condensed amount of time. In order for us to maintain a healthy funnel, we need to consistently market to our book, right? Our book of business. This is what we boil down to. These are the prospects that we're working with. And we have to constantly market to that book while replacing any dud leads. So if anything came through that just is not good, we can clean that out and we can replace. And keep in mind that the goal is to have at least 400 leads that are being marketed to. 400 to 500, okay? But no less than 400. That means that's 20 businesses a day that get something of value that keeps our organization in the front of their minds. The industry leading top producers marketing strategy. Your leads are tagged to you within our organization, which is industry leading top producers. We place that lead into a routine of automated touches. Each touch is one of value. For example, a quick article, how a company just like yours saved thousands of dollars converting to a cloud-based phone system, right? This quick article may be something like that, or just something that they can read or view. This is content. This is content. People like content. But this is content that shares commonalities and solves problems. And that's the way we're going to be in communication and constantly staying in front of the customer. So what the strategy means to you. The concept of the industry-leading top producers marketing plan takes after planting seeds. Once the seeds are planted, we use content marketing to water or nurture our new customer seedlings. This content that the customer will receive will come in different forms, like emails, handwritten notes, LinkedIn messaging, video email, web-based presentations, journals, videos, okay? Again, with valuable information, which is, again, content, right? So that brings us to the ongoing data and technology needs for communication. The ongoing data and technology needs for commercial use. What are those current needs? There's UCaaS, there's managed security, there's backup and disaster recovery, there's business continuity, data center, there's SD-WAN. And there's content marketing that incorporates all of these different types of needs. So we would just have to find stories that coincide with those different types of needs that we can present to the customer. And that's what we do on the back end at industry leading top producers. You just have to worry about keep bringing in a clean level, about a clean 50 new prospects a month. That's your goal. All right. Value offered prospecting. Again, people like to watch stuff. So you might send a video or video email, right? Let's give them something to watch. And then for the sub-agents, let's set up every sub-agent to be able to market to about 12 and a half businesses a day. So the goal is to market to 250 businesses a month, right? And you're continually bringing in new business to market to, but the goal is to market to 250 businesses a month. The goals are to close for seats, right, when we talk about the UCaaS product, or close for circuits when we're talking about fiber connections or internet service, or, right, or close for managed services, right, which is like the cybersecurity or the data centers and all that other stuff. Those are the goals. through value offered prospecting, which is what we do at Industry Leading Top Producers to help get deals closed. So, channel management and agent business coaching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Industry Leading Top Producers on YouTube. You can visit backupmybiz.com to access our sub-agent team YouTube channel. Okay? Industry Leading Top Producers is here to help you reach your compensation goals. Again, my name is Dawn Beckner. And as a channel manager and agent business coach, I have developed a synergistic style of success building. When people come together from all aspects of time and space to work as a well-designed unit of power, we begin to increase each other's effectiveness. We become more successful together than we would alone. And this is why we are the industry leading top producers. You guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that you learned a lot. Don't just learn, but please do apply. Again, I am Dawn Beckner, your senior channel manager. Don't forget, you can reach me at the number shown on the screen. You can call me or you can email me as well. Until next time, happy selling.